Hello, hello.
Good evening.
Howdy.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Supernatural Talk, a very special edition of Supernatural Talk. We are actually a part of Community Pay It Forward tonight, where tonight, Zach's the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not for long. The boss is actually standing over me, telling me to get the hell out of her chair. So, but, hey, the first thing I would like to say is, you know what? You guys have been awesome with us every year. In which, Facebook's got me got my channels completely locked out, unfortunately. So, but Things Network has been fantastic to us for the entire 3 years of doing this. You guys have let us simulcast all 3 years, and it's really been very it's special to me because it proves that this isn't just a you problem. It proves this isn't just a me problem. This is a we problem.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of us are dealing with people who are having difficulties, and us working together, we can make a huge difference.
Definitely. Yeah, and I've watched parts of it, and of course, obviously, taking a few parts myself. It's been it really does have quite an impact, especially. So it's definitely a very powerful message.
Well, and I greatly appreciate that. I'm gonna get out of here, out of your guys' hair, let you guys do the wonderful things that you do. I cannot wait to hear from your dad, Jeremy. I think that this is going to be so fantastic. But I've got one real quick announcement to make to everyone who can hear our voice. If you help us tag 300 more people, we will be giving away 2 trips now to Cancun. We'll be giving away 2 trips for 2 or a family of 4 with kids under the age of 12 to Cancun. So do me a favor, get your little digits working and tag every friend you got. Let's kill this together. Let's do this. Let's do wonderful things. And now, the star of the show.
One more thing, Zach, before you go. One more thing. The QR code that I have at the top of the screen, where does that take you to?
The QR code takes you to a couple places. One, you can donate to what we're doing, which every donation that we make gets split between 9 organizations that help veterans, and not just in Northern Colorado, veterans all over the country. So there's not every donation gets split up evenly. Or it also takes us to the auction. And this auction is for all of these wonderful items behind Adrian, including a tool backpack. And Terry brought up a good point. That tool backpack would be great for going on investigations. So you didn't think about that either, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either. But I mean, you take a look at it. There's pockets inside. There's a place for you to put your cords on the outside.
Never mind, that's off the auction.
But one thing, folks. One thing. The fish is not up for the.
Oh, yes, it is.
The fish stays with them.
Yeah, the fish.
Yeah, no, the fish stay here, and
No, they can go.
that's
I'll
about
trade
it.
fish for
So
backpack.
The tarantula, can go, but the fish stay.
well, speaking of fish, I'm gonna. Oh wow, that's kind of heavy-handed. I'm gonna go and eat some fish.
And take the stinky ass dog with
Oh
you.
no, he's staying with you.
Joe.
Thank you guys. Have a great show.
All righty, we'll see
Thanks,
you in a
Zach.
few hours, Zach.
Ah,
We'll
good
see you
Lord,
in 2
this
hours.
chair has got your butt imprint in it from 20 hours. Golly.
Yeah, he's been sitting in it for the last 20 hours,
19 hours.
19 hours.
Somebody's hurting my
How-
legs.
How he is still awake, I don't know.
Yeah, just go take a nap and shut up.
Oh, Irene just here has a question here. Is this only available in the U.S. because my friends live outside of the country?
No,
Oh,
no.
Zach.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's fine. And the veterans we're supporting are not just in America either. It's veterans. They served. That's what matters.
I said that earlier in my show too, that it wasn't just here for the United States. It was for all over the world.
Yep.
And speaking of veterans, this guy right here.
Yeah, it's finally nice to get to actually see you.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my dad. His name is Jerry, and he is a Marine. And
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Nice to meet you too.
And thank you for what you've done.
Yes. Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
he's got some stories to tell.
Oh, I can absolutely imagine.
I don't know what all I can tell.
Really? Well, first of all, how old were you when you went in?
3 days after I turned 17, I went into boot camp.
Did you lie about it, or were you truthful about your age?
I was truthful. My mother had to sign for me since I was so young.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about, nope, I lied about my age. I was, 17 or 16 and I lied, but I guess, well, yeah, I guess your mother can sign just like mine did to get married, like a moron.
You're getting all these thank yous right here, Jerry.
What's that?
You're getting all these thank yous from here
I
from
guess
the
this
viewers.
is in your way. So yeah, so we have a whole bunch of people here in the audience watching us tonight. So we got Jan right there, Irene, Terry, Kate, Joe. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people here just to see you.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm not that interesting.
Well, I don't know about all that because I saw that, or Jeremy showed me the building that you helped build there, and it's still right smack in the middle of downtown.
Oh, you mean in Greeley?
Was it Bell at the time?
Yeah, Indiana Bell, I think.
Yep, it's still standing tall. And what was it, Jeremy? It's
I
not
didn't help build the building. I installed the equipment inside.
Well, that's still that's
Help and build it. So
I was there for 3 months back in 1973.
I bet it was nice in 73.
that was the one thing I could never remember if it was 3 months or 3 weeks.
That was 3 months.
Yeah.
Or I go to Facebook and share this.
Yeah.
They had people come in from all over different places to get that telephone office working.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to have it. I'm not allowed. I have to actually pay that $300 to get one. So, yeah, there is a silent auction going on. There's some really cool things there. All the proceeds are going to go to veterans causes. So, you really can't see what's behind me. The Yeti cooler's behind me. I've tried to take it down a couple of times and nobody will let me. So, yeah, we're kind of stuck with that. That backpack might go too. I don't know.
Right now, I'm trying to load the video. Here we go. I'm trying to load the video so I can start tagging some people.
Unfortunately, I can't do that for the next 4 days.
That's right. You're in jail.
Well, I'm not in Facebook jail. Facebook took away my tagging ability. I could do anything else. I just can't tag people now for the next 4 days.
That's about the dumbest thing I've heard
It is.
Facebook do so far.
It
Besides
was,
take us off the air.
it was when I discovered it after when I was going to if you guys, well, Jeremy, I know you saw that poster that I made, and I was going to tag everyone that's been on Fear Fans, and this message pops up saying, you won't be able to some of your activities been blocked because it went against our community standards. What the hell are they talking? I looked at that. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
I'm over all the. I deleted about 20 people yesterday on my Facebook because I would open it up and under stories, all I would see was half naked people, and I was done. I was tired of it. I don't care if they're friends. I don't want to see half naked people when I open Facebook. I'm sorry. There's websites for that, and their community standards are supposed to be so high. Why are we seeing that? Why are we seeing body parts? I'm sorry. No.
Really? Seriously.
No.
That's gotten really, really bad, especially on some unmoderated groups now.
I am so over it. But
Now,
Facebook
I've been missing this stuff, I guess.
yeah, it's probably
That's because you don't live on Facebook like the rest of us do, or try not to.
Yeah, I don't get in it very often.
there's no couth to any of this. It's awful. It's the things I've been seeing are
Check this
to
out.
be on OnlyFans. Waiting for Jerry to take over things. Uh-oh.
So this is a guy that we call the Rev. His name is actually Sean. Long story behind that, but he had to use a different name. But this is a guy's we all call him the Rev. And he actually has 2 shows on our network on Monday and Friday called the Paranormal Ministry.
Ministry.
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually a reverend and a demonologist, and he's actually studying in the Catholic Church now to become.
I think it's a
Help
deacon.
me, Sean.
Is it a deacon that he's trying to be?
I don't think so. I think it's higher, a lot higher. He's
above
studying under Bishop. Is Bishop Long still Bishop?
that?
I
I
was
don't know.
working 10-hour days. I don't even know anymore.
It just says Catholic
Catholic
priest.
Catholic priest.
priest.
Okay, yeah, much higher than deacon. But yeah, I've known Bishop Long for a while.
So have I.
Yep, just about as long as I have.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just tagged all these
good
names.
grief.
Hey,
Terry.
Terry, tag me. Tag me.
The
I'm actually going to count because he says how many is
Yeah,
that? I'm gonna
please
count
do.
how many that is.
I lost count about at 5 and have to start over. Yeah, please. Do.
I look at that humongous list and I think, nope, not going.
No, Terry's been on it all day, and I got to say she has been amazing with all of this. And she was on 4:20 her time, 3:20 our time this morning. The Rev actually saved our ass today because our internet, I don't know, they decided to work on it this morning at 1:30.
I heard
And it
something
kept
about
glitching,
that.
Zach, constant. And what? Oh no, this is Zach's office.
It might as well be a pet store. She's got 2 or 3 dogs there. She's got a tarantula. She's got 20 fish. She's got a tadpole in there, or used to have a tadpole in there.
Oh wait, whoa.
In your fish
We
tank.
have 5 dogs. 5 dogs between us and
5?
mom and dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm forgetting about the little ones upstairs.
A tarantula, a bird. We have this fish tank. We have a 65-gallon fish tank, a 35-gallon fish tank, a 2-gallon fish tank. Yeah. We could rent a pet store if we wanted to, I guess.
Yeah. So she's basically got a pet store in her house.
Sounds
Sean,
like a
he
zoo.
better flipping not.
So all of this is in a home?
Oh yeah.
They live in a 3-story house.
Oh, wow.
So part of that is the basement.
I counted the names, by the way. I believe I counted 30 names that Terry wrote on the list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Only 270 more to go, Terry.
Yep.
she had two monkeys too, Nate and Evelina, for a while. I actually had them on the show.
Yeah.
I had both of them on the show for a minute. Abby was on the show a couple of times,
Yep.
and
Let's see
amazing
here.
little actress. She really is.
That's 35 now, Terry. She just added more names.
So for those who do not know now, he made a post about this the other day. Chris is now back home. He was in the hospital, but Chris is now back home. He's doing well.
They still don't have answers for him, and if I have to go up there, we're going to have an issue.
They do now.
They do.
Not enough. Not enough.
Yeah.
He's not that far that I can't go up there and have an issue. Yeah, I'm really glad to see he's home.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know. I know we're 2 hours later than we usually are. We still have a lot of our normal viewers, but
Yeah.
I want to know, Jerry, where were you stationed?
Well, I spent time in Camp Pendleton, California, and then went to Okinawa. I was in Okinawa for over a year. And
Okinawa. Wow, that's a culture shock.
a what?
A culture shock.
That's,
Culture.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure I can do that.
Because you're literally going from everything that you knew in America, going all the way over there.
Oh,
The other side of the world.
everything is different everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Well, isn't that what back then? Was it the same where people like the locals were very respectful to other people, but they like if you're on a bus or any kind of like public situation, you don't speak?
They are pretty respectful, but a lot of them, well, hadn't been that many years for them to forget about
Yeah,
the war.
yeah.
And a lot of them look down on GIs.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Jan wants to know what your
Yeah.
funniest story being in the service is. Now, mind you, she is a military wife.
My
Mhm.
funniest story. Oh boy, that's a good one.
No.
I think probably I got to go on a R&R, recreation and rehab, to Japan once, and me and this guy that was together, we went to this bar, and all of the girls there, all they wanted to do was take our money.
Oh, geez.
I mean, they wanted us to buy our drinks and their drinks and drinks for everybody. Yeah, it wasn't really funny at the time, but it just showed you that they had not got over what had happened during the war, and that was in Tokyo.
I believe that. There was we went to, which I'm almost 50 years old, but that's still just a baby from all this, back then. But we went to the Salina Temple, and I guess the GIs would come in, and there was a big dance floor, and there was women that would sit around the edge, and the soldiers would pay them, I think it was a dime for a dance, or something to that effect. A penny a dime. I don't remember exactly, but they were very respected at that point.
There was something else that was kind of funny. When you go to a restroom, men and women are all in the same restroom.
Oh,
Yeah, standing there trying to use the restroom, and be women standing beside you.
oh, no. Oh,
Wow.
That was kind of shocking at the time, but it was laughable.
I,
They're trying to do
I-
that all over the country here.
were there bidets back then?
What's that?
Were there bidets back then?
The
Bidets.
Yeah.
days.
But
Bidet,
It's
where the water shoots and cleans your behind.
it's like a water fountain almost.
I didn't see anything like that.
I thought that's where you were going with that because I don't know how
Yeah.
long they've had that, but my son lives in Japan. He's a teacher in Japan. And he came back home and he's like, I don't like this toilet paper crap. I'm like, excuse me? How do you think you're going to wipe your hiney? He says, well, in Japan, we have bidets. He had to explain this to me, mind you. And I guess they have water that shoots up there. I'm sorry. No, I don't need anything shoot. No.
Adrian,
But-
to be honest with you, we have one here in my house.
Are you
Of
serious?
course you do.
A lot of commodes have them on them now.
Yeah, nope. There is nothing going to shoot me in the behind. If I want to, I'm a redneck. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go out in a water hose. No, I don't think so.
If
Gary,
you
to answer
wanted to
Oh.
go in there just for a short time, for a quick time, there was no urinals and no stools. All you had was trenches that you had to do your business in.
Oh, I would
I
not.
do
want that.
remember seeing pictures like that. Yeah.
This was back in the 60s.
I guess just like they would squat they sit down to eat. They sit on the floor. I asked my son, I'm like, do you have a table at your house? And he said, yeah, but I don't use it. What? Then what's it for? Oh, to put stuff on as I walk by. Okay.
Well, like when we would go to somebody's house to eat, you got to take your shoes off in the first place.
Mhm.
And you leave your shoes outside the door, and you go in, and the table is like 6 inches off the floor. And you got to sit down there and be comfortable while you're eating. There
I
was
do have to.
some
you know-
restaurants like that too.
Yes. I do have to say that's why I think older people there are more limber and able to do more things than they are here because here we're way too damn comfortable.
Yeah, they're all pretty skinny too, you know.
Yes. Well, I'd be skinny too if I had nothing but fish to eat all my life. No. Mm-mm.
They eat a lot of rice. At that
Yeah.
time they did.
Ugh. Yeah, my son says, I told him, I said, we smoked this pork. And he's like, oh,
A
the
couple
hell?
of weeks ago, I had to live on rice, and I gotta admit, it was kind of nice.
Nice.
It was. Of course, they were all
Well-
different flavored, but
Well, your grocery bill go way down. Rice is cheap.
there is something I do want to bring up. This movie right here, Marines, Let's Go. Yeah. He's actually in it.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
they flew my whole battalion over from Okinawa to Tokyo to be like playing like we were at war and walking up Mount Fuji, and they would be dropping flour sacks out and makes it look like they're bombs. Then they quit the war, and all of these certain guys like Tom Tyrone, if you ever heard of him, and I can't think of the names.
Yeah. Tom Tryon, Dave Hedison,
And
Tom
Tom
Reese.
It was all the trouble they could get into in going into Tokyo, and it was really a funny movie once them guys got into Tokyo.
Tom
And-
Reese and David Hedison. Is that who's in it?
David
Hedison.
Henderson, I've heard of.
No,
Yeah.
Tom Tyrone was one of the stars, I guess you might say.
Oh,
I
here.
just-
Okay. I found the one that you have now. The first one I found was a different like front. It was
Called
women-
movies Let's Go, Marines Let's Go.
No, it was Marines Let's Go, but it had a different front. Like it had three military men and hugging three military women. One half dressed, looks like.
Well, that's what
That's
this one shows.
Here,
Yeah, but
Jeremy, I'm
this
just going
one
to
is.
zoom in. I'm just going to zoom in for a quick second so I can get a closer look.
That's
I hate this camera doing this, but
Okay.
I don't.
You're on.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not.
course,
It's not
never
working on
mind.
your side.
no, of course not.
Real quick.
But I
I
did
just wanna-
find the one that you have.
Real quick, I just want to respond from earlier what Terry, because she was asking how many names. That's about, I counted nearly 50 already so far.
I already told her she's got 200 left to go.
See,
Well, she's up to
I'm not
50.
allowed to do this. I don't like this because I want to go to Cancun. He doesn't like heat. I will leave his ass here. I don't care.
Oh, she just added more. See,
Oh, good. So she has not been put in jail yet.
I don't know how, but she's
at least
going to
not
go
going
until
the
she
same-
does.
at least
I'll
not
tell you
going down
what.
the same path I did.
I'm telling you, her and her man are going to win this.
So Terry, the one who is putting all of these names in here, she's a good friend of ours from Alabama. Chris is a friend of ours in Colorado that we actually not met in person, but we met him while we were all in Colorado. That's a funny story in itself.
I'm gonna go see him this summer. I'm close enough. There's no reason I can't.
Might as well wait until I get there.
Let's go.
That's
Yeah.
65 now, Terry.
And then Jill is actually a part of our team. She's in California.
That's correct.
We're going
Which
to be working with her and training her. And when she feels that she's ready, she's going to run her own chapter of things in California.
I'll be
you know
darned.
what? She does have a few questions that I'd like to share up. She has at least one or two of them.
Hold on a second on those questions. I want
Yeah. I'm just letting you know.
I want to introduce him to everybody. The Mark Joe shows right here. This is Joe. He is another member of Things, and he's running the chapter up in Wisconsin.
Huh.
Jan, another member of Things. Right now, she is in New Mexico.
Yes.
Jan?
Yep.
Okay.
Joe. So
People are all over the
thing
place.
with all the names,
Yeah.
scan that QR code, and we're doing a silent auction. It's for military men and women. I don't know what men to me is just everybody, but never mind. I'm old. So it's to help with military suicide for all people, not just military. It's for suicide. But our military we're losing, I think, I don't want to misquote him. It was 22 a day. That's why he's doing a 22-hour podcast.
Yeah. He just advertised this.
But this has now been, gosh, I think he said it was 30 something a day now that we're losing. It's military people that are taking their own lives because we don't have the resources for them. 47. Okay. Go
Wow.
to sleep.
Yeah, Zach, you're supposed to be sleeping.
There's a song I will play you. It's called Go the F to Sleep.
That's,
Yeah, there is.
But
was that
Yeah,
47 veterans per day are committing suicide?
yes.
An hour.
Yes.
I thought it was an hour.
No, not per hour.
Is it per day, baby? Zach.
Yeah, because I thought the original number was 22.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought.
It is per day. And that's veterans. That's not just all people. This is per day, just veterans. Which tells us they're not getting the help they need when they get home. They're just not. So he's doing this to help veterans and help suicide in general. Because I think every one of us has been in some way, shape, or form touched by suicide.
Hey, Adrian.
Uh-huh.
Tell
Oh, Chris.
Zach that even Zach, even Terry is telling you to go to sleep.
Well, one of the scariest statistics right now, guys, is that with the suicides, there's only 1% of our nation that raises their hand to take the oath that Mr. York took. Okay, yet over 50% of suicides that are performed in the United States every day are by people who have military backgrounds.
Wow.
Service in our military, and that is it's unacceptable, and that's the reason why we do this. Mr. York, I also wanted to come out here and I wanted to say congratulations on your trip. Thank you very much for your service, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for saying that.
Now take your ass to sleep.
I got a show to do.
Zach,
I got a show to do. I don't know what time it is. I don't know how long I've been up.
Zach, real quick, sometime next week, I want to get with you. I got some ideas for you for this next year.
Yeah, sounds great. You said it's a Saturday next year, so
Yeah, thank God. Oh, wait.
I'm the one who told him that.
Oh, Lord. Go to bed. Just go to bed.
Terry's 78 now, Terry. I
Go
counted.
to bed.
So we do have a couple questions here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back.
I've already got them
you go to
on.
bed.
One,
Yeah,
one
that's
is-
one of them.
Did you have a favorite place when you were stationed there in Okinawa?
Well, I was stationed up in the northern part of Okinawa in a place called Camp Schwab. And this was base all out there by itself. And it wasn't very good, a good place to be.
He was in Japan, baby.
oh, was he?
Yeah.
Where in Japan?
Okinawa.
I do remember some stories that you told me about that were not very pleasant
That's
at all.
in the
over there.
United
That's for
States
sure.
area. Territory.
Well,
No, not then. They still
Oh.
remembered the war, and they didn't. They weren't very friendly.
one day we went off the base, and there was a woman that had been selling drugs, and somebody that she had sold drugs to killed her. And when we got down to a bridge, they were doing an autopsy on him right there in front of everybody.
Ah,
Wow.
But
Jeez.
that's the kind of thing that went on there.
Yeah, so that right there kind of gives you an idea what these people go through.
I can imagine.
Another question we have for
Yeah.
you: what was the strangest thing you were offered to eat while you were over there?
The strangest thing, offered sushi. but I didn't eat it. But I don't think I'd like raw fish.
No,
I don't eat it either, so I'm with you on that.
The main thing I liked when I would go out to a restaurant was a meal called Omi rice. And it is cooked rice, and then it's covered, all completely covered over with egg. Egg. And you sit down with a beer and an Omi rice, and boy, you just have a good old time.
Well, yeah, the beer will fill you up. That's you don't have to taste the rice. My son, I asked him, I said, do you have like an oven? Because he rents a place there, and he said, no, there's no reason for an oven. What? He said, we have hot plates. That's it.
Have what?
I'm sorry, no way. Nope. Mm-mm.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around eggs over rice.
Oh, well, how it's really not that different than, let's say, fried rice that we make. It's got eggs in it.
This is covered, a big plate of rice, and the egg is skimmed over the whole top, the whole thing.
That actually don't sound bad.
It was good. I liked it. When I came home, I went to a restaurant and said, do you guys have Omi rice? What the heck is that? But never mind.
You know, when the question came up about strangest thing you would offer to eat, I was halfway expecting you to say octopus.
No,
I was actually thinking more like squid, actually.
Squid is good.
That too.
They did eat octopus there, but not me.
Squid is actually pretty good. They have it at a lot of these Chinese restaurants.
No, I don't eat at Chinese
crawfish?
restaurants. I never did like food at Chinese restaurants. I'm sorry.
I picked
That's
up
all
on
we have here.
The closest thing I've ever had to something like that, it wasn't even. In fact, it wasn't even at an Asian restaurant. It was actually more Italian, but they had like a special type of fettuccine that they had. I mean, it was Alfredo still, but it was black in color. They used squid soup in it, and I know it sounds crazy, but I tried it. It actually tastes pretty good.
Did it taste like regular fettuccine?
It had a little bit of a different tone because of the squid soup, but for the most part, it pretty much still tasted the same, nonetheless.
Squid soup?
Well, down in Florida,
not squid soup, squid oil, or that's what I meant to say, not soup.
Oh man, you are making me glad that I am not hungry right now, Nick.
Squidding.
You won't be hungry for 24 hours. He keeps that up.
we used to go to this alligator place in Florida, and we used to eat alligator there.
Oh yeah,
and that was good.
I tried alligator in Florida, and I thought, if anybody knows how to cook it, it's Florida. No, I was so wrong. I went to this place and I ordered the tail because it was the most expensive, and it was nothing but fat.
Really?
Cooked in, I don't know, breading of some sort. I went to Louisiana and I got actual meat that was really good. Now I order it from like shops that can actually get it from somewhere. Never had gator.
Did I ever have alligator while we lived down there?
How am I?
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I don't
How am I
remember.
too young for these foods, Chris? What are you talking about? What does my age got to do with any of that?
You
I had most of these
a lot of things, Nick. After all, you only 8. So here, there's a story behind this that we have not told. So, you know how how they always take movies and you see the whole thing in theater and then they edit it down for TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did with this. When he and Grandma went to the theater, I think, to see this in.
Now, when I got out of the Marines, I went home. That movie was playing at the theater, so I took my mother to see it, and we actually saw me walking up the hill there, going up Mount Fuji. And when Jeremy found this DVD, they had edited it out, and I couldn't see myself anymore.
Oh,
I think what this is the TV version of the
Yeah,
movie,
it probably
not the
is.
full version of the
so
movie.
maybe what I saw a minute ago was the actual longer version
Maybe
because it had a different front. I'm going to send it to you and see if you recognize it.
Okay. This one here is 103 minutes. I can't imagine them taking a whole lot out of it.
Yeah, especially if it's like the full film. I mean, if anything, they would have taken at least a few minutes, the very least.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an enjoyable movie.
What year did that movie come out?
We made the movie in 1961.
Okay.
That's what it says here is 61 on the stuff I'm looking at.
What's
No, I'm
the length?
Let's see.
Now I'm going to assume the movie, because it was 1961. I'm going to assume it was filmed in black and white. Then, if I'm correct.
No,
It's
No,
a
it was-
Wikipedia.
Color.
It was in color.
it's in color.
Okay. Wow. Because I know even color at that time was still relatively expensive. But that's interesting.
I think this here was before. Yeah, this was before they went full-time color. I think this might have been in that transition point.
I don't understand.
They were going from black and white to color.
I never saw it in
We're
black
gonna
and
start
white.
taking things over, babe.
It was I know it was like 1965, I think,
Yeah.
when the transition fully went in to color, because at that time, even then, black and
It's
white
Wikipedia.
black and white was still
That's-
commonly used.
That's how. Well, yeah, you can trust Wikipedia for everything. Well, think about it with Gilligan's Island. The first season is in black and white.
That's correct.
And then the second and third season were in color.
Hmm. A lot of shows did the same thing. They all at that time they started in black and white, and then about 1965, 1966 is when they officially went to full color.
Yeah. Okay. So Adrian just sent me.
We got another question here too. Whenever you're ready, Jeremy, to share it.
The recent trip that hasn't happened yet. That's a couple of months away from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still a couple of months away, Jill. So, yeah, that's probably the original cover, wasn't it?
No, I've never seen that cover.
You haven't?
That's the first one that pops up, and I'm not sure why. Then it pops up the one that you have.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the film poster. That's why.
for a
Okay,
long time, I looked for that movie, to see if it was on DVD, and I could not find it anywhere. And finally, I was telling Jeremy about it, and it took him a while, but he finally found it.
I ended up giving this to him for Christmas.
Yeah.
Jeremy can find anything. We go to him all the time.
That is true. Oh, I don't know if this is of interest to anybody, but I don't know how many people have heard of Sergeant Alvin C. York. He was the most decorated Medal of Honor winner in World War I.
I have heard that name.
It does sound familiar.
He is a relative of ours.
Oh wow.
Wow.
His
Jeez.
dad, my dad was his third cousin, which made me his fourth cousin.
Didn't he
Yeah.
pass away
Yes,
after war?
yeah, not right away. He was sick for a long time.
Yeah. He made it home, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they had ticker tapes and parades and everything in New York for him.
Oh, Jill
And-
said they spoke of him while on Greg's podcast on Ghostbox Radio.
He did.
That's right.
Greg was actually trying to connect with him for me that one time, but he actually tried over 2 episodes, I think. But that ended up not happening because what was he doing? He was trying to reach out to Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
I remember that one real well. And then I think he was doing one where he was just trying to reach out to military personnel from back in the day, and he was trying to reach out to Alvin C. York, but he was not successful in that one.
Well, down in Tennessee, they have colleges and so many streets, libraries, schools named after him. And he's a pretty big deal down there.
Mhm.
You know, I think, and this is an opinion, that's all it is. But you know, if somebody wants to be connected with, they are. But if they don't, like, they don't like the vibe of somebody, or they don't want to talk about what's being talked about, they just don't. Go to sleep. We understand, Uncle Fester's your great uncle. Go to sleep.
Terry,
Yeah,
109.
this is why you have us here to
Uh,
take
yeah.
over for you.
Wait. I'm about to knock him the hell out and do the last hour for him.
Terry, I've counted at least about 109. I know some of the names are a bit kind of close, but I counted 109 now.
Terry, tag me.
Terry
I-
is going, I'm telling you, Terry is going to Cancun.
I want
I
to
just
go to
wish that-
Cancun.
See, I just wish that with,
You can do
Terry-
it too,
Yeah, so
Jeremy.
what am I saying? Terry's halfway there now. Yeah, 109.
Am
at
I
least
not
counted.
allowed to want something for myself or for him?
Yeah, you're allowed to do it yourself.
Then
Tag
Daniel
more
says he needs some
people.
melatonin.
There's no way I could ever go to Cancun.
I lived like right there on the border. I lived in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And I was like, you know, I remember going shopping when I was younger in Mexico. The hell. Unless you're going to like Cancun or somewhere where tourists go, no way. I would not go. No way.
What Mexican town did we go to when we lived in Arizona? Was that Tijuana?
Oh,
Well, no, you were never in Tijuana.
Well, we went right across the border.
I can't think of the name of it right now.
We lived in Phoenix, and me, him, and Mom took the highway straight down to the Mexican border, and we went into the first town that was across the border.
yeah, close to Tijuana.
Yeah, it's
No.
right next to the U.S.-Mexican border. Yeah.
No way. No way in hell I'd do that now.
It's just south, kind of Fort Huachuca Air Army Base.
Yep, that's pretty close.
I think it was around election time because there was a car going around, and it was one of those old style ones that had the megaphones facing in 4 different directions.
Yeah, I know those
And
ones.
somebody was doing some sort of a speech going down the street.
Oh no.
Wow.
No. I had a friend when I moved from Carlsbad, 3 years ago now. I had a friend who went back home to Mexico. She's an American citizen, had her everything. And they had her out on the ground with guns and threatened to shoot her. And she's like, well, I'm an American citizen and I'm just going to see my family. And they mistook her for some drug dealers or something. Anyway, it was a cartel.
Oh,
And she was not very happy. She didn't go back.
They killed a lot of women down there like that.
Yes.
still kind of going on, actually. Like
It is. And that's why I said, Cancun.
Could there have been Nogales that we went to?
No.
I can't remember the name of the other place. I can't even say it, but there's another place down there that's all.
Get the Atlas.
Is it Juarez?
No, Juarez is bad.
Juarez
That's
Juarez
even
is
worse.
bad.
That's even worse.
Yes.
Juarez is across from El Paso.
That's
Yes.
correct. Yeah, it's right next to the. That's also next to the U.S.-Mexican border.
Yeah,
Went on
we used to go down
vacation
there
with-
because my ex fought roosters down there.
So
This
so
is
we're
legal.
going to do something very old fashioned. We're going to look at an actual U.S. atlas.
I don't know if I remember how to follow one of those, but my GPS does not take me where I need to go.
Wow.
Check this out. He just bought this a couple of days ago, the 100th anniversary of Rand McNally Road Atlas.
That's awesome
Wow,
because
that's incredible.
my GPS is not updated.
Here's the thing. It was a choice between this and a regular 2024 Atlas. The special edition was cheaper.
$5
wow.
cheaper. $5 cheaper at Walmart than
Yeah, who would have thought?
Wow.
Okay. It was
Bill was saying, by the way, while you're looking through this, Jeremy, he said the classic movie that she watched was called Sergeant York, but this one came out back in 20 years
Well,
earlier in
that's this
1941.
one.
That's
That's
that
this
one?
one.
Okay. Yeah, in black
Gary,
and white.
Gary Cooper played him.
Now that's awesome.
There's also another really cool story about our family. What was it? Alvin C. York that hung out with him?
With who? Oh no, our relative
Boone.
our Daniel Boone, and Davy Crockett lived.
That's the one.
They were neighbors down in Tennessee. And they used to go hunting with Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett.
Night, Joe. He's leaving.
Good night, Joe. Well,
Nogales.
That's what Daniel was asking if it could
Oh.
have been Nogales.
I'm sorry, but you're right. It was Nogales.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just didn't sound right at the time.
I kept thinking it was Tijuana.
No, Tijuana is down San Diego, south of San Diego.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Oh, that's way over there. Yeah. No, it was Nogales that we went to.
Me and my cousin used to go to Tijuana and eat tacos from them carts that used to go selling tacos around the town.
Ooh, those are so good.
They were
I heard
good.
they're good.
Tacos were a lot better than the tacos we get up here.
We
I-
got stopped by the cops down there one time. They told us we run a red light, and there wasn't no red lights anywhere near. And they said, "Well, you give us all of your money, and we'll let you go."
Oh, geez.
I gave them all of my money, and my cousin gave them some money, but he had a $5 bill stuck in his sock. Yeah,
Smart.
and
Wow.
that gave us enough gas to get back to Camp Pendleton.
Wow. No. Yeah. Those. I had a friend
Them cops were crooked.
in New Mexico that came there because he was a doctor in no, he was a veterinarian in Mexico. And he said that the cartel would come around And they had to have a percentage every week of what you made.
That's
I
correct.
don't know
Yeah.
how they knew or what. I don't know how they did that, but you paid it. I mean, it's like taxes here. You paid it. And he got tired of it.
That's the fee of what
He
the
came
mafia
here.
does in New York City.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
no different. Also, well, same. Also, like you talk about the Southwest, because they work with the cartels, the Mexican mafia. I mean, it's like all these groups they order to pay up these taxes, and a lot of these people fear in line because they fear the cartel and the mafia.
Yeah. And it was he was what they called a grunt worker, really. He pushed a shovel for the oil field, but he was thankful to do it just because, you know, what he had been through. But he had the education of a veterinarian, and that's what he was reduced to when he came here. That's bullshit. That's, to me, that's complete bullshit because he's smart.
See, time
Cartel
flies when
doesn't
you're having
scare you as
fun.
bad as MS-13.
Oh, there was something else I wanted that was very interesting in Okinawa. Down near Naha, down in the southern part, they had this cave called the Cave of the Virgins. And you could take a tour through the cave, and the bones piled up of the girl virgins that got killed or died in that cave.
You never told me
And
about that one.
right outside of that cave, where there was a big cliff, where at the end of the war, the Japanese soldiers that were there decided they were not going to get caught by the United States people, and they went and jumped off this cliff that was way down there and killed themselves.
To evade justice, basically.
Wow.
That's the way how I see it. Wow.
That was really an interesting tour that I got to go on.
Did you ever get near the what they call, I don't even know if that's what it was back then, but the suicide forest?
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
Ooh.
Suicide Forest?
Yeah.
It's
It's
also it's on the base of Mount Fuji.
They're in
I
Japan.
never even heard of that. No.
It's
Yeah, I
You know what?
don't know how long
When
it's been that.
when he went there, it probably wasn't referred to as suicide forest at the time.
it probably was just to refer to its actual name, which is Aokigahara Forest. But unfortunately, yeah, the suicides though, that's been going on since at least the 1950s, if not even, well, it possibly earlier, but like you said, Jeremy, it probably wasn't referred to as that, but it's been going on since the 50s and still unfortunately going on to this day. So it's a pretty bad area. You go there today and they actually have signs all over the forest area, both in Japanese and English, telling people, to change their minds about committing suicide, saying things.
Right. It says if you have any tendencies, something that's effective, if you're not in the right state of mind, please don't come in.
Yeah, they have other signs.
Effect.
They have other signs too, like, life is precious, or think of your family, that kind of stuff.
You say that's at the base or the top of Mount Fuji?
Mount Fuji base
of Mount Fuji. And it's
basically
the craziest thing is they actually say it's considered the second most popular place to commit suicide after San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge.
I've heard that, and I don't understand that. I have been there, and it is just gorgeous.
It is, but there's a dark side to it too. But the weirdest thing about the forest in this case, there's barely any wildlife there, so the forest is just eerily quiet, and it's certainly one of those forests too that not only do you think about the suicides, you could easily get lost too.
So this is what hypocrite me, Wikipedia, at least since the 1960s, it has become associated with suicide. So by the time that he was there, it would not have been called that.
No, it wouldn't have. It would just stay by its actual name then.
Yeah.
No, I never even heard of that. If I did, forgot about it. But
There
I don't
was even a movie that was
remember.
made a few years ago on that forest. There was, and I think there's been at least 1 or 2 movies made over it over the last few years.
Our boy went in. He went in there, and that scares me because
Yeah,
he kind of toggles between God, I miss home, and America is. I haven't been there in so long that I don't know how to act there.
Huh. Wow.
Daniel, are you military?
yeah. I was gonna say at least show this one.
Oh, I do like that. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
That really is to not only just honor those that have died in their respective country, in this case for Japan, but even also for the Americans too. That's incredible.
Yeah. Did anybody see that we're on? We went from orange to red today. We're on red alert.
Oh, really?
For what?
We're on red alert today. We went from orange to red.
For weather or what?
No, for being bombed.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
You know,
Yeah,
honestly, I can't say I'm
It came
surprised.
across the feed while I was talking to Jan today. And we went from orange to red because of Jan, please explain who did what.
See, I'm
There was
surprised that
somebody did something and we went to red.
here's your answer, by the way, Adrian, from Daniel.
Jan is asking if you've seen any wrestling while you were
Yeah,
over there.
Daniel, thank you for your service.
Nope, I did not.
You probably didn't get
Please
any
be
wrestling
safe.
until
Come
I got
home.
to it.
No, you're right.
So there's your answer, Jan. He did not see any wrestling.
you are worth it.
So speaking of
Just come
wrestling,
home safe.
he took me to my first wrestling event when I was 12. We went to go
Gosh.
to WrestleMania 8 at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we were way up there.
Have you shown him any pictures of Free with his wrestling?
I don't have any pictures.
Oh, here's what you were asking about, Adrian. What Jan just you wanted to know what
Who
Jan
has
said.
a plane that took off that has nuclear capabilities? Yeah, right. Okay. I couldn't remember who, and I did not want to misquote what was happening.
I'm surprised.
I'm sorry. I don't normally get political. I'm not allowed to on this show. I hope he's asleep. Putin's nuts is
Jack, you did not hear that.
right.
What was it? Wait, what was that, Adrian?
Nothing. Putin's nuts as hell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is.
The man is off his fucking rocker, and there's nobody that can check him. The same as many communists.
He made sure of that.
Yeah, right. I remember my daddy telling me, of course, I was adopted. I was born here. I'm actually American, but my dad came from Bulgaria the correct way. He escaped the communism. He was in Italy for a few years and then here. And he had to, what amazes me is most of us cannot pass the test to be Americanized. Most of us cannot do it.
Yeah.
But he did. And he was a doctor in Bulgaria and became a veterinarian here. In Bulgaria, back then, I don't know how it is now, you had to serve in military no matter what. When you turned 18, you were in the military. It did not matter who you are, what you are, where you came from. You are serving. It's not a choice. You're doing it.
We used to be that way when they draft everybody.
Yeah,
Right.
During the
right.
Vietnam Warriors, excuse me.
That's why when I was 17, I did not want to be drafted. That I wanted to be in the Marines, so I joined before they could draft me.
Right. Yeah.
And he got his discharge right before they started drafting for the Vietnam War.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because I will actually just throw this out. I got a few relatives who also did serve in Vietnam in the late 60s, early 70s, and I most of them are still alive today, and I've never heard their direct stories. And although they're living their lives still like as normal day by day, there's always that feeling. I think about that. There's probably not a day that doesn't go by what they witnessed when they were in Vietnam. That even if they managed to
Right.
I guess lack of a better term, even if they somehow kind of moved on from it, you could still tell though it's always going to be in the back of their heads.
We
I
go
took-
to breakfast with the vets.
We
And
took-
I'm going to tell you, is
Go
there
ahead.
any World War II left?
There's
I don't
still
think there is.
A few,
Is there?
not
Okay.
many.
not many of them now. I will say this though, Adrian, both of my grandfathers served in World War II. So, although sadly with the case of my dad's dad, he passed away over 10 years ago. So he didn't actually serve like in the actual war itself, but he was in some of the other positions. But he still served his time during the war.
And that's something Zach says all the time. We'll be in Walmart, and we're not thinking. I'm not thinking anything, but I'm just walking through there, and he'll see a vet with a hat on that says, whatever he was in, military, Army, Navy, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and he'll stop him and
Yeah,
say,
I'm looking
"Thank
at
you
a
for your
thing here
service."
now about those who served in World War II. The number is actually quite high.
It is.
Really? Okay.
Well, if you have
100
in the case like you look at World War II, especially if these, I'll say if these kids, were like, 17, 18, 19 years old, the time
Right.
that they served, it pretty much would make a lot of sense how they could still be alive today. By now, they would have to be in their mid to late 80s, some
Right.
early 90s.
Right.
So that would probably, well, yeah, if they were like, let's
World
say
War II was 80 years ago.
it was, but if they were, born, let's see here, if they were born like 18,
Well, it says
like
right
19,
here.
like 1920, 28, or excuse me, no, not. See, I'm having trouble with math today.
It says right here, as of 2023, 119,550 of the 16.1 million Americans who served are still alive.
Wow.
Not enough.
119,000.
I had heard different.
That seems like an awfully high number.
Yeah.
So World War I's all gone now, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Though, in fact, very last one, he passed away. I think it was in I believe it was 2010. I think he passed away. He was
Okay.
only 17 when he entered World War One. That was again
Wow.
around the time when the United States, 1917, and yeah, he was the very last one.
Yeah,
We're-
that
we're
was
coming up
110 years
on-
ago.
If I'm not mistaken, he had lied about his age to get in too.
Yeah.
I believe
We're
so.
coming up on, gosh. Okay, so after World War II, what was next?
Korea.
Korea.
Okay,
Well,
Korea, and then
Actually,
Then we
one
had
other
the-
one. I'm sorry.
then-
There's one other one too. Around the same time as World War II, you also had the Spanish Civil War.
that was around World War II.
It was around. It didn't last as long. It was 1939, I believe.
That's right there in World War II.
It was. Let me just.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm
That
sorry.
was
I got
before
that.
we got involved.
I got that incorrect. Sorry. It went from 1936 up till April of 1939.
Okay.
So that would have been around the time when they were fighting over there in Europe before our country got involved. Because I don't think because we didn't get involved until 41.
That's correct. Yeah, they actually say. I will say this. I'm also using Wikipedia too.
No, we're Wikipedia.
According to Claude Bowers, U.S. ambassador to Spain during the war, it was considered the dress rehearsal for World War II. So because it happened right before World War II started. And actually, believe it or not, although we didn't have anything to do with the Spanish Civil War, the United States did offer, I think, some assistance to Spain during that case. Again, it's too much to read, obviously, but I know the U.S. did have some involvements with the Spanish Civil War, just not directly.
Nick, I think we have a new name for a show for you.
Oh, geez. What is it this time?
Nick at Night.
But that's what they used to have on Nickelodeon. That was Nick at Night. We're going to get that confused like hell.
Yep.
Well, Nick, you did a segment on which war did you do a segment on?
Oh, for today?
Mm-hmm.
It was, see, again, I could only gather what I was able to find. It was during the invasion of Iraq during the early 2000s, because I was describing
Desert Storm.
Yeah, I was describing, the different countries that, allied with the U.S. during the invasion. And I said this actually on the show, but I'll give Jan part of the credit for it because she was helping me out with it.
Jan was very much involved in that.
The invasion of Iraq, or
she was a military wife. Yep.
Okay.
I would imagine when you're a military spouse, whether if it's wife or husband, I would dare say you are every bit as involved as your partner is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Rough job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You hold down the home front. Now, what aggravates the crap out of me, and we're going to get real for a minute because y'all know I have no filter.
He don't know it.
He will in a second.
So meet the real Adrian.
Yeah, this is the real
Nick,
deal.
Who you had me call when you could?
Yes.
Oh.
That's Adrian.
That's
the one you called.
Okay. Hi.
I have that. I can be nice. I can, but I have no filter. The wives that I'm sure husbands did it too. We're not getting sexist here, but they're out there fighting for you, your children, your family. And they come home to you're pregnant, or you had an affair, or you whatever the hell you thought you wanted to do while they were gone.
A lot of that was going on.
Since you brought that up, Adrian, the very first story I ever started writing was based on that.
I just can't fathom what
Right?
the hell.
Here, Jan said this too. Also, another thing about her somewhat involvement in the military. Her dad was sent to Washington and she was also a commander's daughter. Well, their ex-husband served. Her ex-husband was one of the first sent overseas.
Her ex-husband, and she's not going to say this, so I am. Her ex-husband was actually on the cover of Time magazine. Storming.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I didn't know this till I got to see the picture, but he was Desert Storm. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's standing on the top where they were invading. Like, yes, we did this. And he got his picture taken as he was doing it. He didn't do it to take the picture. He was the first one up there.
A lot of people would want to do that right now, Jan.
But, honestly, was there issues involved mentally? Absolutely. Yes, this was Desert Storm. This was one of the later wars.
And that's probably why Jan wanted me to talk about something like that for my presentation. And
well, sure,
and I can't
because
take her.
she had the inside knowledge.
Yes, and I seriously, I seriously
Yep.
cannot thank her enough for taking her time to help me out with it. I really can, because I really didn't know exactly which direction to go. It was not easy. It's not easy finding the info.
I can tell you from her perspective, she very much enjoyed working with you.
I know she did. Although
And
I told Jeremy this after we were done. We still stayed on the phone. We ended up talking for about different things for like 4.5 hours.
Welcome to
well,
my
you almost
world,
beat my
Nick.
record today with her.
What?
Welcome
Wait, what?
to my world.
He's not asleep. He is not fucking asleep.
Okay, Adrian, you're gonna have to. First of all, everybody in the audience, please leave. Adrian, you are going to have to go and knock him the hell out.
No, tomorrow when he goes, oh, I don't know what just happened. You didn't fucking sleep when we told you to. That's what happened.
Poor
Jeremy,
guy.
you know what we ought to do if that
Yeah,
happens? We
and
oughta
that's
just
what I'm
put,
gonna say to him. Just what he just did.
Jeremy, you know what we ought to do if that, if this is going to happen? We ought to put like that sign that says, please stand by.
Please stand by as
I like
we
that.
speak.
I like.
Oh,
I'll see if I can find something because I know
Okay,
that
Terry,
can be
put more
very
up.
easily done.
Daniel.
Yeah,
But,
Daniel's been on the whole show.
but next year, Adrian,
No, but I just asked him.
He's the founder of Rescue Residents.
Okay.
He's the one who makes the ambulances into tiny homes.
Okay. Okay.
So
now
we're
I get
raising
it.
money for him tonight.
Now I
He's
get
one of
it.
the organizations.
Okay. So
next
There
year,
we go.
Adrian, I've got
What
some
did you
ideas
share?
that I think will help keep Zach off the computer for about half of the time.
Check out this
Go
link
to
here for you,
Evan
Adrian.
Sleep.
there's a song that says "Go the fuck
I
to
think
sleep."
that's what, Adrian, I think that's
I gotta
what
be back
Daniel
on the
brought up.
computer.
in the
Isn't
audio.
that the one that
Then you
Morgan
should have
Freeman did?
been the fuck to sleep.
I went to go see my father.
Who is going the fuck to sleep?
Oh hell, you couldn't tell if he was awake.
Is that the one that Morgan Freeman did? I want to say that's him.
Yep.
Terry, you're up to 124 now.
Jeez.
I've been keeping up. I've been counting.
Terry, you got any friends left?
Oh, you ought to see the friend she has.
Wow.
So,
I hope he is.
yeah. So
Are
her
you enjoying
ex-husband.
being on the show?
Sure.
Her ex-husband was on the cover of the magazine. Did it come without its bad vices? No.
Won't
It
have
was
any
bad.
tomorrow.
And this is what we're doing this for, because I know he's not watching, so I'm just gonna say it. He had his bunkie, his roommate, his friend who committed suicide or died right there in their house. He was living there. We see all these people with signs, veteran, homeless. How many are true? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, if we have homeless veterans, if we have anybody who gave, and this is something Zach will go up to people, that's what I started to say, in Walmart and say thank you for your service. Sometimes it scares them.
Really?
Because he mentioned it earlier. It's like a lot of people will say that as a hello instead of seriously meaning thank you for your service. But he means exactly that. You kept us safe.
Kind
You
of
helped
scared
to
me
keep
the
us
first
safe.
time somebody did that to me. I said,
Right,
"Well,
right. He
what do
did
they
that
want?"
the other day. He did that the other day to a little man that was in a wheelchair. And of course, Zach is a big guy. And he stops him right there in the middle of the aisle in HBA and says, "Sir, I want to thank you for your service." And I just turn around and just smile at the guy like, I don't know what to say. But the guy took it really well. And he was like, "Thank you." And he understood. But I think a lot of people are doing that as a, hello, instead of what they really mean. And so we're scaring a lot of people. But I don't think that should stop, because this is the reason we get to have what we're having right now. Now, Mr. Putin over here, do they get to do this kind of stuff? Oh, hell no.
No, definitely not. He could care less about his own soldiers, practically.
Right. So, they're not going to get to do a podcast about him or
They
about.
never will. They never will.
Right.
He
And my
runs
dad.
everything.
Yeah.
Seeing what you brought up, Adrian, I was going to say this earlier, but I've told you this before, that my dad watches CNN all the time. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't came up on CNN, on that case. Or maybe it has. I just haven't seen it.
I haven't either. But, my dad told me, because he escaped from Bulgaria, he told me, he said, "Don't you ever." And I was 8 years old when he told me this. And he must have ingrained it pretty hard, because he said, "Don't you ever go back to Bulgaria." Like, I was never there to start with. He said, "But don't you ever go see your ancestors there with your last name. You better be married and never speak of your last name." It's like, what? Why? He said, "They will kill you." That's how scared he was
Wow.
of the communism.
I never thought it was that bad in Bulgaria.
It was. That's part of the Iron Curtain. They were not allowed to have gold or a cross, because they could not be Christians. They could not carry
What?
gold.
Jeez.
His wedding ring was a gold cross that he had melted down. He escaped with that and had it melted down. That's they dictated when you took a shower. Each building or whatever took a shower at a certain time. You didn't take that shower, you just shit out of luck, and you're not taking a shower that day. You see pictures of them, and this is so disgusting. They carried loaves of bread. Like in Mexico, you see chickens hung up and they go buy them.
Yeah.
Loaves of bread they would stick under their arm and walk home. The hell, no. I'm not eating some bread somebody stuck under their armpit. But
Yeah,
we have that luxury.
I wouldn't.
We have that luxury because of the people that fought for that luxury.
Lauren
Or we
actually
would
makes
be
a good
eating
point
whatever
here.
the hell somebody gave us.
Yeah, a lot of people died for that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Absolutely, they did.
Lauren makes a really good comment here, saying the saddest thing is a lot of the men and women that serve to protect our freedom don't get a thank you. This needs to change. They all need to be thanked. They serviced our country for all of us.
Well, one of the things
Absolutely.
that is happening for that specific reason is the honor flight that they do for our vets, which he gets to go on in a couple of months.
And I think that is so amazing, because I heard Zach say, and I didn't know anything about it until Jan said something about it. I was never a military brat. I was never any of that. I knew how we got our freedom, but I was never a part of that. Last night we were talking to Bartholomew, and he gives statues to the veterans that never got a real thank you. But it's a statue that's where they served, or what branch they were, where they were stationed, the years, and their name on this statue. Of course, he does it off donation. It's not a big thing. He does it. So when I tell everybody we're going to go,
I can't imagine that being cheap.
No,
No, I bet it's not.
no. But when I tell everybody, we're going to go eat with the vets on Saturday, that's what we're doing. We go there and all the vets, and the neatest thing I got to see, and I know Jerry's going to understand this. I guess about 3 months ago, before it started snowing and I didn't want to drive, they had, it was an anniversary or it was something. The women vets that worked on the planes had their little bandanas and dressed in, I guess it was coveralls. And it was just so cute because that's what they did. And they had their outfits still. It was amazing to watch them. They don't ask for money. They don't do any of that while they're there. But all
Is
the
it-
vets to me.
Is that the honor flight you're talking about?
No, this is just one of our partners does this where he gives plaques and little statues to people that never got honored.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing to watch him because he is so passionate about this. We were out there with him last night at Buffalo Wild Wings, and him and another guy named Bob. And it was funny because Zach said something to Bob. I've never met Bob. I've never seen Bob. And he says, yeah, so my wife, she does paranormal. He goes, what? I'm talking 70-year-old man. What? And I said, this is not what this is about. It's, it's okay. He says, do you know so-and-so that used to be here? No, I just moved here. No, I don't. He's like, that's okay. You ain't missing nothing. And he continues on. He says, there's this haunted place here that, Ghost Adventures. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, I do. He said, and there's this one guy, I just can't stand to watch him. I think he's just way overacting. I was like, I let him talk for about 5 minutes. And I said, he was talking about ghost hunters. He said, they're good. They're this. I was like, yeah. He said, there's this one guy. I'm like, I knew exactly who he was talking about. Same one we all talk about.
I had a feeling it was Zach.
I figured too.
Uh-huh. And I said, he goes, I just feel like he's really overacting. I was like, you think so?
Well, he only represents about maybe about 200 that I can't stand watching, but that's okay.
I told him, I said, honey, you ever want to go? He said, you go places? I'll go. Said, come on.
It took him a while to get around the idea of me doing what we do.
Zach's still trying to get around that idea, but he goes.
See, Lauren's been sending,
And he's going to get around it up until something gets in his face and goes, boo.
Lauren's,
Then we'll be okay. But this guy, I told him about military bases, how much, and I told him about your thing last year, Nick, and he was like, yeah. He goes, why is it always military bases? Well, they're old. They've been there a long time. They're old.
there's a lot.
Lots of
Well,
trauma
it's not
has
just that they're old, but they've had shit happen there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was going to say there's a lot that goes on in a lot of these military forts.
And then he brought up school, an old school, and I'm like, what they hear there? And he said, children laughing. I said, okay. Stone tape theory. That's residual stone tape theory. And I explained that to him. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. Then there was another one. He was talking about theaters. I said, why is it always in theaters we see the top hat man? What? So we explained that one, but it's really neat that we get a lot of military that have seen things, heard things they can't understand,
I believe
can't
it.
explain it. And they're willing to come out and talk about it, especially like Vietnam,
Yeah.
where, they saw some of the worst.
And it's not even just, believe it or not, even just we're talking paranormal wise. I mean, believe it or not, they even encountered unknown creatures. So it even falls
Sure.
into the cryptozoological.
But that's paranormal.
Yeah, it is. But I was saying they also saw creatures that we never would even imagine actually like that would exist. And the stories are just incredible, are just terrifying.
It is. And I had a friend, and I would love to talk to this man today. I don't know what war he fought in. Well, let's do the math. I'm almost 50. I was 11. This man and his daughter and I were the same age. And she warned me. I didn't know about this. I was sheltered. And she said, hey, when you spend the night, I need you to know this. My dad has PTSD. It's not the word she used, but that's what he had. She said, if you get up in the middle of the night, he's going to have a gun in your face. I'm like, excuse what? My dad didn't own a gun. I'm like, what? What? And I found out what she was talking about that night. He had flashbacks of whatever he went through, which he would not speak of. I don't blame him, and I wouldn't ask him to. But he had a gun in her face once a week. And she wasn't even up. She would rather pee that bed than get up. But that's what he had been through. And this is why we're doing this. Why aren't these people getting help?
And there's actually another thing I just want to, that actually brings up something else too, because in fact, I was just talking about it with my mom not too long ago. And this is something we all know all too well when it comes to veterans that not only get the help or even get, or even just, like you said, getting the thank you that they desperately need. If you look at something again, like Vietnam, in fact, I'm not trying to go to this different subject. I mean, matter, but Adrian, you and I have talked about it, of course. A lot of these motorcycle clubs, a lot of these guys that founded these clubs were either former World War II, Korean, or Vietnam veterans.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those clubs, especially the ones that formed in the late 60s, early 70s, like the Mongols, for example. I saw a special of it not too long ago. And the guy, one of the founders of the club, who's still alive today, had said, when they came together, they were looking for some kind of niche or something, because they didn't want to basically deal with what they went through in Vietnam. Instead of getting the greets that they were supposed to get, they were just getting spit on by everybody at the airport. So,
and I don't understand that. As a citizen today, I don't get it.
They started in the colleges.
Yeah, they did.
That's unreal to me. I just don't.
They had so many of them professors that talked down the U.S. in the Vietnam War, and they had all these kids believing everything they would say.
Yep.
When they would come home, they would spit on them, throw water on them. It was sickening.
I remember there was a lot of colleges where they were having protests and demonstrations and everything like that. And but believe it or not, Stephen King actually referred to a lot of that in a lot of his stories.
Right. I just couldn't believe that, living today, we are taught today what our veterans did for us. That this is the reason we're able to sit here and do what we do.
That's right.
This is the reason we're able to wake up. This is the reason we have a red alert today. And we're not going, oh my God, we're about to die. because our veterans are out there.
That's
And,
correct.
and just like Daniel said, you know, they called them baby killers.
That's correct.
You
Yeah.
know what went on over there? It's a lot like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I am not as PC as Zach is, and I'm sorry, this is just I'm the redneck side, and I
C or PG?
either one, either one. I'm neither one.
I was gonna say, what is PC?
PC,
Politically correct.
Oh, I don't
Ah.
believe in being politically correct.
I am absolutely not. But I'm gonna tell you that this bullshit of it doesn't matter what they went through over there. What they did was what they had to do. Now, were there those rogue ones that were sure,
Yeah, you had your few bad apples there.
Mhm.
sure, the same as you do here. It's
Got that
not just
everywhere.
in war. It's not just it's everywhere.
Yep.
But why would you are you talking about these people that strap these bombs to these children? They get to run out there. Are you calling them that? No, you're going, oh my gosh, poor things, they had no say in it. Bullshit. They're brought up that way. Is it their
Yeah.
fault? Absolutely not. That's how they're brought up.
They're raised that way from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
They're
no
raised,
different.
you're going to die for your country.
And
Yeah,
what
the way
Daniel
how
here
these-
is talking
these-
about.
The way how these kids are, like when they're put in that kind of situation. I've said this a lot on several occasions, but I'll say this for that. But it's really that type of thing where they're raising their child in a certain kind of fashion. And let's say, for example, they manage to, to grow up, and when they become an adult and they act that way, and the parents, let's say, well, we have no responsibility, or these people that are forcing, they're saying, well, we don't have any responsibility for that anymore. They're adults. They're doing this to themselves or anything. You know what? Not hardly, because they
Right.
know what's going to happen to them.
And like Daniel just said, put up his comment real quick.
Yeah. This one right here.
Yep. If you don't like what the veterans are doing, contact your elected official. They sent us there. That's exactly right.
Yep.
These
Well,
military men do what they're told by their president, by their elected officials. Now, yes, they know that that's what's going to happen when they go in. Absolutely. But they are there for the country. Do they all agree with it? Absolutely not.
Right.
But they do their job. Just
We
like
actually
we do
have-
our job.
Back when we had Bush and Cheney, and I think it was sometime after they had sent the boys over there after 9/11, and then all of a sudden it was, well, we're getting promises where they're going to come home, but they're keeping them over there, and
Yep.
somebody was interviewing Cheney, something along the lines of, you do understand that most of the country does not agree with what you're doing, and all he could say, so? You remember that?
I would never
Something
remember
along
that. I
those
was
lines.
still,
I'm paraphrasing it big time, but I remember something about that. And Dad and I actually had a discussion earlier today about something different, where he told me I need to contact our state senator because they're the ones that help put certain laws into effect. And the way that I see it, I can contact him all I want. He ain't going to care what I got to say. Even
See, I
if
would never
he
remember.
is an elected official, representing me, he don't give a damn what I got to say because he's in office.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Until he wants to get in again, then he's going to care.
Yeah.
See, and it's funny. I don't remember, obviously, when this was all occurring. Of course, I didn't remember any of that because I was still very young. It wasn't until several years later I found out about this.
But let's be honest here. Let's look at some of the other countries that we're actually at odds with right now. You oppose that person that's in office right now, you're dying. We saw that happen last week. We saw it happen.
Mhm.
We do have it very good compared to a lot of other countries. We have it very good. The reason we have it very good is because our people fought for this. It's not because, oh wow, it just happened. No, it didn't just happen. It happened because all of these people fought for this. Every war fought for this, fought for us. Now, sure, we went over and helped other people that we thought were in the right. Great. But the things that we get to do are far greater than what most countries get to do. Sure,
Very
we can
true.
bitch about our taxes. We can bitch about whatever it is we want to bitch about. And sure, we have a lot to fix. But are we one of the better countries in the world? Absolutely. We have freedoms.
Mhm.
Trouble is, our country's getting worse.
It
Yeah, it
really
is.
is.
It really is.
It is, but and it's sad that those of us that didn't live through all the crap are seeing that. But we still are free. And we are free because of the people that fought for us to be free.
Yeah, but
We
there's
can
some
be-
of them that's like wanting to take a lot of our freedoms away from us. Now.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. And that's
Which makes it very interesting now because we're going into not necessarily the scariest election we've ever had. I think we had that 2 elections ago, but we are definitely going to go into one of the more interesting
are.
elections we've ever
Yeah.
had.
Well,
and it is scary. It is scary because
It
whoever
is scary.
we elect,
it's scary, especially now that we're about to enter March. I mean, because it's going so fast. I mean, it seems like, yeah, I know it's still not till November, but still, you get into the next month, your heart starts pounding even more as you get closer.
Yeah.
Well, May
that
is when
makes
the
you care.
primaries are, so that's when we're going to know, okay, who's going to be running for what.
Yeah.
right? And you know, I as shameful as this is, I've always voted yes. But
We
now,
all have.
That's
Yeah.
the
We
only.
have.
right. But you start really paying attention. And I don't have the time to pay attention as much as he does. So I'm like, tell me what is, he'll send me articles. He'll send me different things so I can make an informed decision. Because I work 10-hour days. I cannot make an informed decision without watching the news. And we all know the news is not, they're going to tell one side.
Yep. Like I said, my dad,
Whichever-
he watches CNN all the time. Yeah.
Well,
right.
the-
And if you
the
watch
thing about
one, they're
watching the
telling one.
news- The thing about watching the news all the time, because he actually used to watch the news channel 24/7, and it got to the point where I told him he needed to stop watching it because I knew what it was doing to him.
Yep.
Extremely
Yep.
irritated, and finally, after months of telling him to stop watching it, he did stop watching it and started watching cowboy shows. And since
wish-
then, our conversations have been a lot more
I wish
civil.
I could do the same with my dad. Because
I do believe we need to be informed. We
You
do need to be
learn
informed.
a lot watching news.
You do, but
Yes.
there is so much propaganda that all
That's it.
channels, it doesn't matter which side they're for, there's so much propaganda that they shove down our throats that we really don't need.
You just got to pick and choose what you want to believe.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. And you can watch one station and they'll cut and paste like they do in our field. We all know this. Cut and paste to make it sound like what you want it to. They do that everywhere. This is part of TV.
Well, I have seen videos where somebody was taking video clips from multiple news stations, newscasts, and put them together, and they are saying the exact same thing.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Honestly, I think if you know a vet that's in duty right now, ask them. Ask them. They will tell you the truth.
You know who's probably the best I would ask for my case is I actually do have a cousin of mine who is going to be going into the Marines. So, you know, even something like that. I mean, she's just starting, but either
Yeah,
way, I
once
mean,
they're
it's
in,
like,
ask them.
yeah, exactly. That's what I do plan on asking that myself.
So that you guys know, we got a little over 5 minutes left before we got to end the show and turn it back over to Sleeping Beauty, who's
Damn
not.
it, 2 hours already gone?
Yeah.
Almost.
There is something I'd like to share that that Lauren made, and this is actually something in relation for her husband, you know, who served in the Army. She made this special painting. I thought I'd share this to you guys. Check this out.
Air,
That's nice.
Air Corps.
Yeah, Lauren,
That's-
Jerry, yeah, Lauren is a very great painter and artist. So she really knows how to, I guess, capture the feeling of her images. And it's just phenomenal what she made. So this, I thought, was a perfect opportunity to show this.
That is really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
And she also worked on the shadowing on that too really well.
I'm probably going to show one more time when Adrian comes back because she didn't get she left as I was about to show it.
You may not have time.
But yeah, I may not too at the same time. You are right about that.
Yeah, I think she's going after Zach so that he can be able to take the channel back over.
Yeah, it does hit you in the feels.
But no, I do have some ideas for next year, and I think if we really get the band together, we'll be able to get this thing going. What's your total?
She's back.
She's back.
We will let you know on that one. So
Hey.
my question is this, and I'm going to put this disclaimer out. My views are not Zach's views.
Oh, here.
He is very politically correct. I am not. I want to know how we can change the fact that our football players who are walking around looking like monkeys fucking a football, making more money than these people that are out here fighting for us. These people that are whacking a hockey puck or whatever it is they're doing, why are they set for life? Where the people that made it happen are not. That's beyond me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it.
Because many hundreds and thousands, well, millions really want to watch football on TV, so they're going to pay the money for that. They're going to pay the money for the tickets and everything. But honestly, I think a lot of them don't care to watch any of our vets on TV.
Well, and that's all fine and great, but they wouldn't have the chance to watch these
I know.
these
I know.
brain dead. Yeah, I'm going to stop there.
And also a lot of these football players, they get those sponsorships from Nike.
No, Daniel, no.
Whatever.
No.
They get all those sponsorships because these brands recognize, hey, these are celebrities. We can give them a shitload of money so that they can promote our brand.
Well, that's all fine and great, but your brand, your whatever would not even be able to be promoted if you would look into what a communist country looks like.
Yeah.
No, Daniel, I don't want to see the war. I thank God for the people that are able to do it. I don't want to see it. No, hell no. But I just don't agree with the money that these people are making. But you know what? That's an idea. If you sell tickets to that, people are into some crazy crap.
They are.
What is it? What is that, Jeremy? What is that website? Rotten.com. I don't know if it's still around.
I've
But
heard of
people-
RottenTomatoes.com. Never heard of Rotten.com.
Look up Rotten.com. That's the first thing that showed real dead bodies.
Hey, Chantel.
Chantel is a good friend of ours from South Africa.
No, really?
.com, that's what it's
Chantel,
called.
how you doing, bud?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hang on. Okay, so I actually have heard of this site. And to answer your question about that too, Adrian, no, it's no longer in existence. It was a show, called it a shock site, active from 1996 to 2012. And even the tagline was an archive of disturbing illustration.
Yeah.
Pictures of violent acts, deformities, autopsy, or forensic photographs depict the perverse sex acts, disturbing or misanthropic historical curiosities, and just so much more.
That's how we got desensitized to this bullshit.
Well, and although the website
almost sounds like a snuff porn.
it pretty much is, because it says it
was
does
bad.
also
It was
contain
awful.
it contains like real life photographic and video material of horrific events. Now
It did.
it was, although the site is now defunct, that doesn't mean though that you could probably still find it from on Internet Archive, because it does say the last front page was last archived in February of 2018.
Okay.
And yeah, right. Saddam Hussein, when he was tracked down, that was on there. Real pictures of that was on there. You know what? This is reality. This is what you could face if these people didn't fight for us. So why are we paying these people to run around? I mean, obviously, yes, they get hurt. So what? Soldiers give their lives. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And no, Zach is not a part of this. He is not. This is not his views. This is mine. And he obviously can't control.
But those views, you know, I don't care if people don't like it, but those views makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
It does. And he tries to be politically correct, all this good stuff. I don't.
I can see with a lot of these players, okay, make $1 million a year. That's fine. Take the other $100 million a year and give it to the vets.
But
Yes.
are the vets making that money that let us do this?
Yeah,
Sounds good, but just that stuff will never happen.
I know.
No, it won't. And that's the problem.
And I'm sure that Zach is ready to take over. So
I'm sure he's ready to tell me to shut the hell up.
Adrian, I just want to show that. I just
has
want
he
to show
actually ever told you that, Adrian?
Absolutely not.
Actually,
I
I
Not
want-
in those words. He's still living.
Actually,
Um,
Adrian and Zach, since you guys are still here, Adrian, since you walked out, I want to show Lauren made this painting. This was for her husband. This was for her husband when he served in the military. Check this out.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is cool.
It is.
I think that's the 82nd Airborne.
So
Is
yeah,
that right, Lauren?
Lauren, is that right?
yeah. She said, let me see what she said in the painting she did for her husband when he served in the army.
Yeah.
I hope she's still on. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The 82nd. Okay. Okay. So with that, couple of announcements to make. We had just gone over this not quite a month ago, but the Paranormal Giving Tree that we had been doing the last couple of years has now been rebranded as the Things Paranormal Giving Tree. And this year we're going to try to do a couple of different things for the vets. One is to help out with doing care packages and seeing about getting care packages together, sent to people's local VFWs, American Legions, or whatever you have there in town. Most towns, I would think, should have both of them.
Be sure to include me.
Huh?
Be sure to include sending something to me.
And also we are looking at including the vets into somewhat into what we have been doing for the last few years for the Paranormal Christmas Card Exchange. Except we're going to be on that end. We're going to be doing like a special video to send to different bases and to send to VFW, American Legions, and all of that stuff. The AMVETs, where a whole bunch of people, if they want to take part of it, do a video where they wish all the vets, young and old, Merry Christmas and all of that. I'm going to try to do this year round. And also, if you get a chance, go to Amazon, get this movie.
Watch it.
And get this movie.
Watch both of them.
Yeah, because this here is our actually family that this movie is based on. And this here, my dad's a part of it. Go buy that shit.
Unbelievable. That's just amazing.
Now, how much proceeds does Jerry get?
Unfortunately, no.
You know, they didn't give me a doggone thing
No.
except to walk up a mountain.
He doesn't even get an IMDb credit for that.
What? He needs to get an IMDb credit at least. Come on now.
That's bullshit.
I thought I deserved
He deserves it.
Well,
what's
he
in awards.
deserves his flowers, which ironically they did dump flowers on them while they were filming. You didn't tell them about that part, did you?
What's that?
Them dumping flowers on you guys? You talked about them dumping bags of sand or bags of rice, but I don't think you mentioned that they did the same thing with
Bags of
flowers.
flour, not flowers.
Oh,
Flour that when it dropped, it exploded and made it look like they were bombing us.
all right. So I misunderstood that part, which I do a lot.
Maybe I just didn't explain it right.
Yeah, probably. You gotta
Don't
remember-
make excuses for
I
him. He's smarter than that.
He's a good kid. He's I make excuses for him.
The final count you've given, I said last time, was 124 names. You were more than halfway through. I was waiting for the next set of names to count. Okay,
Terry,
125 because you
Just
said
keep
her.
tagging people. Just keep tagging people.
Yeah, so Zach, she's up to 125 names.
Oh man,
Sounds
Terry,
good.
You're not even halfway through yet.
It was nice
She
talking
is.
to everybody I got to talk
We're
to.
allowed to do it.
Next week on Supernatural Talk, we will be back at our normal time. I don't know if we're going to have a guest yet next week or not. And also, I will be back on Sunday afternoon with Marks on Wrestling, and I hope to have a very exciting announcement for that one. Meanwhile, I think we're ready to turn this back over to Zach.
Yep.
Okay.
Jerry, thank you. It's awesome to meet you.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. Seriously.
Nice talking to all of you.
I finally got him on
meeting
camera.
you.
Right?
It was
Y'all have a
definitely-
good night.
Definitely
Just
great to finally-
excuse me because I'm not used to being in front of a camera.
That's okay. We take it over. It's fine.
Everybody gets a first time.
Right?
It was definitely
So-
a pleasure meeting you.
Not same here.
So for everybody out there in the audience, thank you so much for playing along with us. Keep tagging people for those trips to Cancun, and also scan the QR code that's just over Nick's head. It's only going to be up there for another minute or two. But also stay on all of these channels, no matter where you're at, because you get to see Zach's face again. And
Lucky
there-
you. Yeah, we haven't seen enough of it today.
Did you ever get to go to bed at all?
No. No.
No, he was tagging people too.
I was
I didn't
tagging
catch
people
that.
too. That's how we got Daniel to come in. I tagged him.
And also about an hour from now, we are going to be showing a video that Nick created earlier today.
Yes.
So I am going to go ahead and get that uploaded here. I did have it set up on the other account, but I'm going to do it on this one.
I really hope it's something you guys will find really fascinating because, like I said before, I mean, it was not easy information, but with what Jan was able to help me out with, again, was very beneficial once again. And it seems like I'm kind of jumping from one subject to another, but, it was the best I could do to try to put this whole thing together. So I hope you guys find it fascinating.
Yeah. So meanwhile, everybody, thank you so much. Join us next week on Supernatural Talk, and also stick around and hang out with Zach because he needs the company. He needs you folks to help him stay awake.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're getting down there, so we're under 2 hours, but we're gonna take about a little 2-minute break. Just going ahead and switch accounts and get back over. But you know what? Stick with us. Just stay where you're at. Make sure. The nice Adrian, I like this one. Nice Adrian is on now. So, yeah.
And, this couldn't have been a perfect night because I know I will be watching because normally I go to work on Friday mornings, but I actually have the next few days off because obviously with my birthday coming up, I'm taking a little break. So therefore, I could stay up as long as I pretty much wanted to check it out. So I don't have to worry about work the next morning.
Well, we're gonna be thrilled to have you. So, all right, guys, we're going to just do this little switch real quick. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you guys for doing your thing. Jeremy, play yourself out.
All right, you guys all have a good night. Wish Nick a happy birthday. Blow his phone up. Blow his phone up.
I know that's happening.
See you all, some of you on Sunday, and see the rest of you on Thursday. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.